Hey, good morning, my friends. You know, it's been a long time since we had an opportunity just to sit and chew the fat. And I've been kind of negligent on this YouTube channel, and I do apologize for that. I get the occasional short posted every once in a while, but I haven't done a long-form video in a while. And, well, this morning seemed like a perfect time for us to sit down and chew the fat a bit and see if I could answer some of your questions. And, kind of give you a few updates here on what we're doing at Jim Hinckley's America and why I've been negligent. You know, I still have lots and lots of big plans for this YouTube channel, and I want it to be a good platform for doing what we do best, sharing America's story, inspiring road trips by telling folks where to go. I just haven't had an opportunity. We're a two-man team, me and my dearest friend, so the hours get away from us. As you may have been noticing, if you're a follower or a fan of Jim Hinckley's America, we've been really pushing on the website, getting that developed, and building some networks of cooperative partnerships. And we've also been really focused heavily on the podcast, Coffee with Jim, that's broadcast live on Sunday morning, 7 o'clock on Podbean. It's been our primary focus, and we've got some great video projects in the works, but God bless, we just haven't found the time to do it. Well, this morning I went out for a little bit of a walkabout that turned out into a longer walkabout because it's such a beautiful morning. We've been so dry here in northwest Arizona for a long time. I had a fear that most of us were going to be hunting jerky instead of deer. And, well, today we got a good rain, first one in a long time. Thunder rattled the windows and lightning and rain coming down like a cow peeing on a flat rock. It was a sight to behold. So that inspired me to get out here in the desert, and getting out here in the desert got me to thinking about you folks, and that got me to thinking that I've kind of given you short shift. We haven't had a chance to visit for a bit. So here we are. I wanted to kind of respond to some of your questions. Let's start with the podcast, Podbean. Yeah, it is live stream Sunday morning, 7 o'clock on Podbean, Arizona time. But if you miss a program, no worries. We archive the programs a lot on Spotify, most major platforms. And we offer an embedded player to website developers. Currently, we have it on the Kingman Tours website, which is kingman.tours. We'll get more to that in a minute because I know you've got questions on Kingman Tours. It's on the B.news, one of the largest tri-state media news sources in the Colorado River Valley. And, of course, on the Jim Hinckley's America website, we've got an embedded player. So if you miss a live program, it is no problem at all. The podcast really mirrors what we want to do. We don't ever want Jim Hinckley's America to be a Jim show. It's about building a community, a sense of community purpose. And so we try to get diverse people, inspirational people. And, of course, it's about sharing America's story and inspiring road trips by telling folks where to go. Seems to be what we do best. Speaking of Kingman Tours, I've had a couple questions on this. It was developed, launched by Kingman Main Street, and then it was developed by Talisman Magic Marketing. And they are if you need website development, social media campaigns, marketing in general, I got to tell you, Steve and his crew down there at Talisman Magic Marketing, off the charts. They're based in Kingman, but they work all over the country. And the Kingman Tours website, www.kingmantours, is just an example of what they do. Now, this was designed as a virtual tour and a physical tour of historic sites, public art, Hollywood and celebrity associated sites here in Kingman, Arizona, and along Route 66. It's kind of an innovative project that uses QR codes for the walking tour. The virtual tour, well, if you find yourself incarcerated somewhere but you have internet, doesn't mean you can't take a tour of Kingman, Arizona. I provide most of the audio narration, and there's a weekly blog that you'll find of interest. They have a Yodel-powered calendar of events for the region on the website. Probably one of the most expansive calendars in this area. So if you're planning a trip here in Northwest Arizona along Route 66, that's a good resource. And they've added a really neat flip guide on area attractions, such as the trail system. We have an incredible urban hiking trail system. More on that in a minute. And a restaurant guide, things of that nature. Before you get too long-winded and get distracted, speaking of the trail system, you can find information on the Jim Hinckley's America website, but believe it or not, where I'm sitting right now in these beautiful scenic canyons, we're about 2.5 miles as the crow flies from downtown Kingman and Route 66. This is the part of the White Cliffs wagon road system, and then just a couple mile or so over the canyon, the way the crow flies, you've got the Surbat Foothills Recreation Area, which includes Fort Beale and the old site of Camp Beale Springs, Coyote Springs, and Monolith Gardens out there. This is one of the top urban hiking and mountain bike trails in the Southwest, in my personal opinion. And I've got a few travel writers that seem to agree with me on that. I work with, I get questions about tour companies. I've got a few. My name, my reputation is pretty damn important to me, so I'm very selective about who I partner with. They've got to share our vision and our mission, and got some great ones. Gilligan's Route 66 Tours. Sam does a tremendous job. Not just Route 66 tours, and he's got two options there, a caravan tour, but he also does a really innovative self-drive tour. And he's got this thing set up with an app and a book and a few other things. So it's as close as you're going to get to traveling Route 66 and having a guide in the car with you. Pretty extraordinary. And he also does kind of a heartland tour, driving a caravan along the Mississippi River from Minneapolis to New Orleans, Gilligan's Route 66 Tours. I also work really close with Chantel and Stephen Disbrow of Route Trip USA. They're UK-based, but they specialize in bespoke road trip holidays and rail travel, United States and Canada. They're top-notch all the way across the board. They're like us. Before they tell you where to go, they test the pillows and taste the enchiladas. And they're just good folks. And to make sure that you get the best trip, they also hire consultants, pretty knowledgeable consultants, people like me. Then the other one I want to recommend is Austin Coop's 2-Lane America. He does coach tours as well as caravan tours. And Route 66, he's got a great one that takes in a lot of the auto museums in the Midwest. The Gilmore, the Auburn Cord Duesenberg Museum, Henry Ford's museum in Dearborn, top notch. And he's got several other tours. You can find all the information about these sponsors on my website. Now, and got a couple other questions here about the Centennial. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's no real centralized hub as of yet. The official Route 66 Centennial, I think it's route66centennial.org. They've got a lot of events, calendar events, some blog posts, a lot of information about Route 66 Centennial certified projects. I'm proud that the Coffee with Jim podcast has been given an official Route 66 Centennial designation program. It's quite an honor, and I'm proud of that. Another one that's coming up that's kind of interesting is the Connect 66. I don't have a lot of information on it. I've talked to the developers a tad bit, and they've launched some teasers, if you will. Pretty ambitious, pretty innovative. If they carry through with this, and they're pretty dedicated folks, they seem like, that could be a good hub for all things Route 66 into the Centennial and beyond. And of course, Marian Pavel's out there with his Route 66 navigation app, the best going right now in my opinion. And the Route 66 passport, I understand that Marian is currently working on a Route 66 Centennial passport. So you might want to keep your eyes open for that. Yeah, the Wagon Wheel Motel. This is a thing. It is for sale. Connie is working to keep it open. She's had some real health issues. So if you know Connie or the Wagon Wheel Motel, drop her a note, say something, give her a holler, let her know we're thinking about her. But there's an opportunity if you want to get involved and write a new chapter in Route 66 history. The iconic Wagon Wheel Motel, which turns 90 next year, is up for sale. Another opportunity for you is the Roadrunner Lodge in Tucumcari, New Mexico. David Brenner has done just an incredible job on this property, making a fully immersive 1960s experience, but with the modern amenities that you'd come to expect. And but he's decided it's time to write a new chapter in his life, so he's going to be putting that property up for sale real soon. A question as far as my speaking engagements, my tours. Yes, kind of. I'm going to be at the Miles of Possibility Conference. I've had a little bit of a conflicted schedule, so I'm going to have to do it virtual this year. And I'm going to miss that because except for the year of the apocalypse, 2020, I've attended all of the Miles of Possibility conferences, and it's an event that I highly, highly recommend. Right now, it looks like tentatively I'll be speaking at AAA Route 66 Road Fest in Tulsa next year, possibly at the big event November 11th next year in Springfield, Illinois. As soon as possible, I'll get details up on that. Now, questions about my new book, number 23. It's Route 66 100 Years out of Quarto Publishing. This is a great book. It's available for pre-order now. You can find information on the Jim Hinckley's America website. But it's due for release here in about 6 weeks, I think it is. This book is kind of unique. It's been a dream project of mine for a long time. By we, let me explain that a bit. But it's an anthology. So I had a lot of help with this. Some good friends that are very talented authors and very passionate contributors to the Route 66 community. People like Cheryl Eicher-Jett, Dries Bessels, Joe Sonderman, Reese Martin, Greg Hassman, all contributed and wrote for this book. The reason it was a dream project is this was an opportunity to write the entire history of Route 66. So it kicks off with the beginnings of the U.S. highway system, back the American plan in the 1830s. Andrew Jackson, Henry Clay, Senator Clay, and working our way up through the bicycle mania of the 1890s that led to the Good Roads movement and then the establishment of the U.S. highway system. And then, of course, the evolution of Route 66 from highway to internationally recognized icon. But we also went farther. We talked about the highway's renaissance as well as its potential future, its possible future. So I really think you're going to enjoy the book a lot. And as always, if our paths cross, I'll be happy to deface that book with a signature. Let's see, what else I've got here in my list of questions I wanted to address for you. Jim Hinckley's America website. Yeah, we're constantly growing it. Check out our blog post section. We've got about 10 years of blogs there. We've got information on our sponsors. And the videos, like I say, I do apologize. We've got some good informative videos up, but most of those, like our Search the Lost Highways project, that's been kind of on hold for a bit because just flat haven't had the time. But to check out our YouTube channel and Instagram. We try to get up at least 5 times a week, a little short, to bring you up to speed, share a bit of what we're doing, because the other part of Jim Hinckley's America is we want this to be a shared adventure. It was never intended to be a Jim show. It's about us. It's about a community. It's about sharing the adventure. So I try to do that, 4 or 5 times a week. Let's see what else I've got here. In Kingman, well, you can reach out to me if you're in Kingman, and if I would cross our paths, I'd be happy to try to sign books, meet with you. You can find me. Okay. Well, I usually, if I'm in town at least once a week or so, I try to have breakfast down at Calico's on Beale Street. Highly recommended. So you might catch me there. And they've got a great gift shop, a lot of my signed books. And on a fairly regular basis, I take a stroll down to Mud on 66 for a cup of coffee. And I often visit with folks there that are traveling through, try to answer questions. So those are the best two places to find me without, it's kind of a crapshoot, if you will, but just reaching out to catch up with me. That's probably the best way to do it if you want to stumble on there. And if we can't cross paths and get together, well, take a gander at the Kingman Tours website. Like I say, it's a narrated, self-guided historic district walking tour, and I provide the narration. Right now, there's about 38 points of interest, but it'll get you around downtown Kingman and give you a good idea on what there is to see and do here. Route 66 is a big part of what we do, yes, but we're not myopic. We're a big fan of road trips, good apple pie and diners and things of that nature. So reach out. I try to respond to as many questions as I can when you send me an email through Jim Hinckley's America. And it's Jim Hinckley at jimhinckleysamerica.com is the email. I'll try to answer your questions, help with your travel planning as much as I can, not just on Route 66. So let's stay in touch and let's visit. Meanwhile, until I get this YouTube channel going again, consider Coffee with Jim. That's become our gathering point. Think of it as a virtual diner where old friends get together on a Sunday morning and share a cup of coffee and just chew the fat. Talk about community development, road trips. We've had some great guests, got some great guests coming up. People like, Reese Martin with his infectious enthusiasm for everything. He's the president of the Oklahoma Route 66 Association and the manager of the National Trust for Historic Preservation, Route 66 Preservation Initiative. And we've had documentary film producer John Paget, Pat Tuttle, Joplin CVB director. We've had just all kinds of great people. Joel Baker lives in the land of the giants. He established the American Giants Museum there in Atlanta, Illinois. So join us for the live programs because it is a shared adventure. We like to get audience participation. And also, check out the archived programs. If you have more questions, please drop me a note. It's good seeing you again, my friends. Until we meet again, I will bid you adios. Vaya con Dios, mi amigos.
Say hello to a new friend on an old road. Take a 2-lane trip of memories into mysteries unknown. Come along for the ride. Jim Hinckley's America. Jim Hinckley's America.